keep on visiting Ignite Camp just because of the fact of the spiritual high you get, and you just really get to watch people grow with your cabin, with all the other people, and you develop a special bond with people that you've known for a long time, and everything gets more personal.
I keep coming back to Ignite Camp because I feel like my life is like a roller coaster, and Ignite Camp reminds me of the one constant thing, which is God and my faith.
I'm coming back to Ignite next year because of all the friends that I've made and the great times that I've had.
I keep coming back to Ignite Camp because it is a great experience and it's a great time to get connected to God again. And also, I don't have my phone, so I'm kind of sheltered off from the world, and it just kind of leaves me with my own space to strengthen my relationship with God.
I keep coming back to Ignite Camp because it's a week where you don't have any distractions and you can really focus on your spiritual life, and you can also tell that God does a lot of work in this week.
My biggest takeaway from the messages was when he talked about the dash in between your birth date and your death date, and that made me realize that I need to start living my life for true things and not just like to impress people or for electronics or whatever. It made me realize I need to worship God with all my heart every day.
My biggest takeaway from the messages this year would probably be to be myself. It's difficult trying to be yourself in the high school and being a senior, so I think that being yourself and as a senior could show the people below you that you really are a great person and have a great personality.
My biggest takeaway from the messages were how to go out into the world and touch people, and how by touching people it would teach them about God, and eventually God would do his work in their lives as well, and that it would keep going.
What I took away most from the messages were that God can use anyone to spread his word, no matter how big or small.
What I took away from Fred's message was the message about being a contagion of a blessing, and basically he said just going out and talking about God and his love to people who might resist the love. Like he said, you should love the resistance of others, and really just not be afraid to share about God to people who might not follow him in your life, like your friends or your family. Just really be open about it. Going into that, I just think in our own church we just need to be more on fire for God and just really become more united as one, because we're going through a transitional season. I just think we all really need to take ownership of the youth group this year.
My biggest takeaway from the message, I had two things. The theme of this year for Ignite was come alive, and I think in my walk with Christ the last few years, I've definitely been going to church, and I've attended Ignite the last 3 years, and I just in between the times when I'm Ignite, I just haven't felt alive for some of it, and I feel like God's been working in my life and trying to chisel out some of the things that just need to change, and I just feel like now is the time where I can fully come alive and stop living inside of the person I used to be. I liked what he was talking about when he talks about being yourself, and I had a couple of things that he said. God has the most freedom to use you when you are truly being yourself, and I just found that very impactful and as I continue to go forward.
What Fred's message told us was to just learn to love anyone in your life that you're broken for that doesn't know Jesus. Just love them, because that's all you can do until they take it in on their own time.
The most impactful thing this year at Ignite Camp was Fred's talk about being a contagion of God, because it taught us how to be sent out into the world and to touch people and show them God's limitless love.
The most impactful thing from Ignite Camp this year would probably be Fred's speakings on loving each other, and I think that I could take that home and start loving people more and show God and my faith through other people.
The most impactful thing this year tonight was watching my friend really give her heart to God when she wasn't really religious before camp. It just made me feel like I was doing something to make God proud.
The most impactful thing that happened this year at Ignite was Fred gave a message, and basically he called people he called people to three things: either to accept Christ into their life, to, like, if you've gotten off the beaten path, to come back to God, and then, like, praying for people in, like, your life that don't have God in their life. And then, like, once he did that, he called everybody to the altar at the front of the stage, and everyone knelt down and just started praying, crying, and you just really sensed the Holy Spirit there, and it was so powerful.
The biggest thing that's impacted me from Ignite Camp was actually 2 years ago when Johnny V had us write on rocks. I wrote July 7th, 2012, and that was the day I decided I was going to get baptized, and that August I got baptized.